I mean, it's made of metal. What could go wrong? Rise and shine, campers. Today's goal, find a couple site options for the first cabin builds and carve out a small space for our workshop and office. If you have a favorite, drop them in the comments below. Welcome to the Hablab. Before we get to the new business, we had a couple comments on the last video. Corrections, thank you. Post office was actually the general store. There was a post office in it, but its main use was the town's general store. And the incorporation of Habersham Mill was actually 1837, late 1837, not 1838. Also have a request for some more baseball views since I kind of skipped over that, so we'll toss them in here. If you guys have any questions, comments, or wants, feel free to drop it in the discussion. This is a group effort, team. We do this together. All right, we're coming up to site option 1, or as I like to call this, the summit site. I'm a big fan of chopping out, so this is my number 1 choice, but we gotta take all 3 into account before we pick. Eastern sunrise over there and western sun there, south facing, nice views. Option number 1, let's stake it out. Here we are at site number 2. This one is just below the peak of the property, so we'll call this one high camp. It's a great little spot wedged in between the existing tree line behind me and this old existing tree and a little false summit here. So a good nestle for the first cabin. Pros con list, right off the access road, pro. Landscaping, very minimal, also pro. And utilities is a big one. We're close to existing electrical, water lines, and septic. So that'll save us time and money for our first build. I think we got to call it high camp. Throw a stake in it. All right, welcome to site number 3, or as we'll call it, the riverfront. Obviously pretty sweet, but something to think about when you're building on the water. If you guys are doing this at home, you have additional rules and regs such as water setbacks. In this case, I believe it's 90 to 100 feet. Depending on where you are in the country, it could be up to 150, 200 feet. So things to think about. And here we go for option number 4. Again, we're by the water. We'll call this one a little creek. I don't know, down by the brook spot. We'll go down the pros cons list. Good views, quiet. It has approach to it that's nice and flat, easy to build on, and close to utilities. So that's got a lot going for it. Major con again, by the water. So we have to worry about setbacks and possible additional review. Before we give you our final pick, let's go take a look through the warehouses and see where we're going to put the office. Welcome to workshop option number 1. This is the lower mill building that's down along the water side. Awesome bones, but needs a ton of work. Let's check it out. Inside workshop option number 1. This is the lower mill building, all heavy timber frame construction, all original, of course, wall-to-wall windows. You can't beat the views and the sound of the waterfall all afternoon. Obviously, my first pick, pros, water, tons of light. It's got that charm, good for creativity for the workshop. Cons, it is super damp, would need a ton of work. We'd have to blast all the paint chips coming off of these wood beams and deal with the moisture problem. But another pro is there's an existing office already on site, so we'll go check that out. It's got some classic furniture, awesome views. Got plenty of inspiration. Looking outside as you work. Original furniture here. I mean, that chair, if we don't pick this because of that chair, we're doing it wrong. And lots of wall space for design presentations, our own little workshop in here as well. So, not bad. We do have a little bit of sappage going on here. Nothing a little scraping and alcohol can't take care of. That wraps up option 1, office and workshop. Time for option 2. Before all you boo birds start coming out, commenting, let's just give it a chance here. Come along. Now, I know she doesn't look like much, but it's actually a pretty sweet little option. We can obviously add in some windows up top, I'm thinking we punch out that whole vent, open that up to some sunshine, because this is our south facing light. Now, there's no electrical in here, so hopefully you guys can see. Might have to adjust the old eyes. Ooh. Pretty sweet. So, obviously needs some work. Doesn't have the character as the last one, but we have high bays, super wide walls, tons of open space. Once we put in some windows up along the street level, you can see the retaining wall, street level, where these concrete foundation lines go. But also we take this out. That becomes our garage door. Could be a aluminum garage door with some windows above, or a whole window wall. And then we can check that place. I'm pretty sure that's the roof of the old mill, but there's a sketchy ladder. Let's take a look. I mean, it's made of metal. What could go wrong? Yep, there's a bolt up there. Oh yeah, epic. Look at that, you can put a whole loft up there. So, as you can tell, I'm pretty stoked about the place, but whichever option we choose, obviously, is gonna need a little elbow grease. Now for the results. First build site is High Camp. Now, obviously we wanted the river site, but rule number one in speed and efficiency is don't get cute. The river requires extra zoning, setbacks, probably additional reviews, something that we want to do, but we'll save to the future once we get rolling. The workshop was a little tougher, so I think we're going to go with both, option A and B. In the beginning, we'll use the existing office for our initial design of the building, and we'll actually tape out the full scale size of the prototype on the floor in there and use that for mock-ups while we work on the concrete brick box. We got to come up with a cool name for the first lab building, get the windows, the doors in, get it fully lit, and in the meantime, we'll be cranking away on sites 1. Maybe we'll do 2. I don't know. We'll try 2 different floor plans. Let us know what you think. If you got a better choice, or you want to boo bird us, drop them in the comments. You know what to do. Like, save, and share. As soon as we get that first build done, we'll be ringing this bell. Troy, New York, only a couple hours away where I was from, so bringing a little piece of home to the south. We'll see you next time on the Hab Lab.